Welcome to another installment of the York Symphony Orchestra's Musicians at Home, a series of interviews available at yorksymphony.org. My name is Lawrence Golan, and I am the Jody and Louis Appel Jr. Music Director of the York Symphony Orchestra, coming to you from my home in Denver, Colorado. And today I'm chatting with violist Jody Greve, who is coming to us from her home in eastern Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Hello, Jody. How are you doing?
Hello, Lawrence. I am doing terrifically well. Thanks for asking.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're holding up okay.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
why don't we start by just having you tell us how long you've been playing with the York Symphony Orchestra?
hmm I'll admit I started when I was 3 years old because I've been playing. Okay, that's a joke. I've been playing, this is the end of my 22nd season with the symphony. I actually started just after I turned 21 years old, and it was 1 month before I got married. So it seems like a lifetime ago, but I basically kind of grew up with the symphony as part of my adult life. The first concert I played was the July 4th concert when we were still doing those at the fairgrounds. So got to have the cannons and during the 1812 overture, very exciting stuff.
Fireworks?
Fireworks, yes, it was outdoors, so sweat, bugs, everything, but it's quite an experience. And clearly I loved it enough to come back season after season.
All right. Well, obviously you remember that concert very well. Up to this point, what has been your most memorable concert with the York Symphony Orchestra?
Actually, I'm going to have to refer to an entire season.
Oh,
Uh, when the orchestra had their 75th anniversary season, I want to say, well, whatever number we're at now, subtract to get to 75, but I want to say it was at least 10 or 12 years ago. Um, we had an amazing lineup of soloists, world-class musicians. We had Joshua Bell, Sarah Chang, Nadia Salerno-Sonnenberg, James Galway. It was tremendously exciting. I do have some fond memories of several of the performers, actually. Joshua Bell was the very kindest, sweetest man, and he had the most sparkling blue eyes. I do remember that. They were positively scintillating. He played the Mendelssohn, which has a special place in my heart. But his pianissimos and his soft playing was so magical. And he kept encouraging the orchestra, play softer, play softer, play softer. And we did. And the result was, like I said, just positively magical, like nothing I've ever experienced before. So that was super exciting. When we played for Sarah Chang, we did the Four Seasons. And Sarah Chang is somebody I remember from my childhood because she was a child prodigy, and seeing some specials that she did on PBS as this little girl in the frilly pinafore dress, doing these amazing pyrotechnics on the violin.
Paganini.
Um, yes, definitely the Paganini. Um, but when she played, it was funny. She kind of exchanged a dirty glance with, I won't name names, but a certain barking dog in the orchestra during the performance. So that was a memorable story. And when we played for Nadia, she again was just outstanding, totally just almost mind blowing in how much of a powerhouse and a force she was on her violin. But she was out the door before intermission even began. So we didn't get to meet her or interact with her a whole lot. She was all business. And then James Galway, when he came, he was supposed to come with his wife, but she had taken ill shortly before, so she wasn't able to make the trip. But Mr. Galway was a tremendous gentleman, very kind. He was very educational, very pedagogical in his approach with the orchestra, and I just really appreciated that. So working with those really world-class musicians during that season was a highlight of my time with the orchestra. I also enjoyed when we would do the Super Pops concerts in the winter months. So we've gotten to play for some big names there, B.J. Thomas and James Darren. So I got to watch the Gidget movies. That was a little bit before my time, but I really enjoyed working with him. So just some really, really fabulous people. I love all kinds of classical music. So to pick one concert would be impossible for me, but that 75th season was certainly one to remember.
Yeah, well, obviously you have some great memories of that season, and they had a lot of great guest artists. all of those guest artists are fantastic. They're also expensive. So, we're working on it, on trying to raise the funds, raise the donations of the orchestra to try to bring back some people of that international level, which would be
Mhm.
fantastic. I think we all would love to. Um,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
as you know, maybe not all of our viewers know that um, ticket sales only cover about 30% or even less these days of our operating budget. So 70% of our budget comes from donations and sponsorships from individuals and local businesses. So we're definitely working on ramping that up, and when we have the funds to bring in those guest artists, we definitely will.
And I have
We'll,
to
we'll
say
make some
too,
more. We'll make some more memories for you and for everyone else.
yes, absolutely. I tell you what, though, even if they don't have a label like Joshua Bell does, of that caliber, it doesn't mean that I enjoy performing on that stage any less. It's still such a joy to play. There's the music that I might just love and really evokes a lot of emotion in me. Then there's also the experience with the people on stage, and the conducting, that we get also is very inspiring. So there's a lot of aspects that make it enjoyable, not only the soloist, but those soloists were particularly outstanding.
Right. And looking ahead to next season, what's on the lineup. Is there any particular piece or any particular concert that you're most looking forward to?
All of them. That's not a cop out. Really, seriously, I'm at the point in my career where I feel like I've played a lot of literature, certainly only a small percentage of what's out there, but a lot of what's played more regularly, I've performed a number of times. So I really enjoy when I get to perform something for the second or third or fourth time, because I bring a different level of skill with it. I'm kind of already at a certain starting point of technical capability, so that I don't have to worry about the fingerings and the positions and the bowings and things, but I can put more of the music into it, and the musicality of it, basically. But also I enjoy playing new pieces because they are new, and I might find something in them that I like. Kind of like going to a restaurant. You can either get the same menu item over and over again and enjoy it so much and enjoy different aspects and facets of it each time, or you can get something new each time. It's kind of the same way when I look at the symphony season, where there's some old familiar favorites and there's some new pieces too that I'm looking forward to. But I do want to say, if I can kind of reverse the question just a little bit, I'm really, really, really sad about missing the String Fever concert that was scheduled for early April. That was the one. As soon as I saw that coming out on the season, I about jumped up and down, literally. I was so excited to play the Tchaikovsky Serenade. Each one of and the Vaughan Williams, the Fantasia and a Theme of Thomas Tallis, each one of those pieces on the program had a special place in my heart for various reasons. If you want to interview me again, I'll go into those stories, because there's so much history there with those pieces for me. Even the Anna Klein, In Her Arms, I was looking forward to that one a lot. That one, I had listened to it quite a number of times. I'd just put it on YouTube and play it while I was doing the dishes or something, just to kind of get it into my system, because there were a lot of parts in that piece that were not standard as far as from a technical perspective. Like I had to actually look at the music and go, I'm not quite sure how to play that. So I had to figure some things out. But the effect was what I was looking forward to hearing and feeling in the orchestra. And so I'm really, really sad about having missed that concert. I'm sure our patrons are as well. I think those were going to be some audience favorites. So that's the one. Looking back now, not complaining, just saying, I was really, really sad about missing that one.
Well, obviously, there was nothing we could do about it. This coronavirus sort of took everybody by surprise, and a lot of
That's
changes
true.
have been made. But next season is already set and was set before any of these cancellations. That said, I do think we can bring back some of these concerts that got canceled this season, and bring them back perhaps the following year, the 21-22 season. And I would agree with you that String Fever concert, that all string orchestra program, would be pretty much at the top of the list of ones to consider
Mhm.
bringing back that following year.
Mhm. But in the meantime, I just listened to them on YouTube. and just enjoy the sound of the glorious music. Yesterday, I was feeding my 2-year-old Sammy. I was feeding for some lunch, and we saw some birds out on our deck, and one of them was a woodpecker. And we have several different kinds of woodpeckers, so that I had to specify that it was a hairy woodpecker. So he said, "Harry Hahn?" And I said, "Hillary Hahn" is what he meant to say.
Okay.
Can you believe it? My 2-year-old. Bless his heart. So I
Good for
brought
him.
up YouTube and played the Lark Ascending for him, because he knew who Hillary Hahn was, because that's my world. I listen to music, and so Harry Hahn.
That's great. That's great. Tell me, are there any silver linings in this whole situation that you've come across, or things that you've started doing because of this situation that you think you might continue doing afterwards?
Yes, I know globally there's a lot of devastation, and there will continue to be for some time. But I have to say, personally, in my own little bubble here at home, where I've been pretty much exclusively for the last 7, 8 weeks now, um, I've enjoyed my time at home. I'm not racing off to take one child to violin lessons and then another time to this activity and this event. So I am home nearly all of the time. So I feel like as a family unit, we are growing together and able to experience all of the stuff of family life at the same time together, instead of in little bits and pieces. I know you know, but our audience may not realize that my husband and I have 6 children between the ages of almost 16 and 2. So we have a very busy household. There has been no room for boredom, quiet, solitude, any of that stuff now. So when I hear from others that they're lonely or bored, my heart goes out to them, because that's totally not what I'm experiencing, but I can imagine it. But I would say that increased family time has been really great. My husband is in the healthcare industry, so he is working, but his hours are slightly modified. So he does tend to get home a little bit earlier in the evening sometimes. And weekends, we try to do fun things. Yesterday, he was able to take 5 of the kids fishing, so that was fun. So we have been having a lot more, I would say, really quality family time. And we always did try for that, but with this current change in our schedule, with things being canceled or postponed, we've had a lot more time together. So we're going to enjoy this time while we get it, because I'm sure once the activities start up again, we may do some reevaluating of what activities actually stay on the schedule, but we kind of already had done that, and I thought we were doing the minimum, but with so many people, it does get busy regardless, even if each child only has one or 2 activities. So I would say the increased family time has been really, really a blessing for us.
Great, great. Well, I agree. I'm experiencing the same thing. I'm seeing my family more than I ever have in their lifetime. So, tell me, is there some interesting fact about you, or some interest that you might have that people might be surprised to hear about?
Um, the way I became a viola major in college, there's kind of a funny story with that. When I went to freshman orientation after the school year began, or I guess it was just prior to the week before, the professor was asking, who's clarinet major, flute major, trumpet major, all down the line. I'm wondering now if he maybe perhaps went alphabetically, because he got to piano major, and I'd say about half of the room raised their hands. And I looked around, I was preparing to be a piano major in college.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody raised their hand, it seemed, and I thought, I don't want to be one of many. And so when he got to viola major, I raised my hand. Now, I had been playing viola since 4th grade, went all the way to the state level orchestra in the competitions in high school. But I was also quite an accomplished pianist and had really some amazing opportunities there. I performed the Rhapsody in Blue that we had just done recently, performed that with my high school band. In my senior year, my junior year, I did one movement from the Mendelssohn Piano Concerto. So those are some exciting experiences that I thought, wow, this is just catapulting me for a great career as a piano major. Nope, I went with viola, and I'm so glad I did. It was really a good decision, but made not with a whole lot of forethought, I have to say, rather hastily, but it was definitely the right decision at that time.
Well, that is an interesting story. Thanks for sharing that. And thank you for sharing your time with us. We really appreciate it.
My
Jody
pleasure.
Greve, violist with the York Symphony Orchestra.
Miss you all. Can't wait to see you on the stage, backstage, my musician friends. This is a community that I've been a part of for so many years. And I just really appreciate the family aspect and the family atmosphere that the York Symphony has. It's the same people that I've been playing with for the last 2 decades. And there's a real history in that, and a comfort and a joy that brings to be a part of that community. So thanks for letting me be a part. Can't wait to be together again real soon.
Looking forward to seeing you soon.